So, I'm about 30 minutes into my Christabel tramp. I believe this is the Blue-Gray River. I think. Oh, I'm so accustomed to having wet feet on these trips, I almost just walked straight into the river, which maybe I could avoid that. There's supposed to be really nice trout fishing on this lake, and I brought my little fishing rod to find out a little later. But at the moment, I'm on the west coast region of New Zealand. I think this is my favorite area of New Zealand so far. It kind of just reminds me the most of home. It gets a lot of rain and there's a lot of trees and stuff. Yeah. They have dandelions too, as you can see. And these as well. This one's dead, but I learned recently that those are the California thistle, and native to California, as obviously, and they've managed to seed themselves all over the entire world, which is pretty amazing. Anyway, I need to find the trail again, so I'll talk to you later. So much for keeping my feet dry. The trail is over on the other side of the river. Somewhere. I think I found it. Good morning. As you can see, I've made it to, this is Lake Christabel, located in Lewis Pass, on the west coast of New Zealand. This is where I camped last night. And in classic Josh fashion, I made it here right at dark, right when I couldn't see anything anymore. Kyle, you'd know what I'm talking about. But it took me about 5 hours to get here, and it's about what I thought it would. This is my humble sleeping quarters for the evening. And here's part of the trail. It's really beautiful, like all the moss, and it's a little hard to tell, but you can see that orange trail marker. Lake Christabel itself was created several hundred years ago by a massive slip on the other side of the lake, and on my side as well. Basically, the mountain fell off, and so it blocked the river, which is I think it's called the Blue-Gray River, and thus creating the lake you see before you. I was doing my dishes in the lake last night, and it kind of startled me. I looked to my right, and there's this huge eel. It had to be 3 feet long. It was easily the biggest eel I've ever seen in New Zealand so far. Not that I've seen that many, but it's pretty cool. I think the lake itself was created before European settlers were here, but I'm guessing that the Maori were here for it. It happened several hundred years ago. So I'm gonna have a sit down. I really enjoy these solo trips. I do them. I've done them here in New Zealand a few times and back in Minnesota a fair amount. It just really clears my head and just lets me think, and to get away from the crowds and people in the city is really important to me. But the thing is, when I go on these trips, I also never freaking sleep. Like, I was laying in my hammock last night, and I don't know if you've ever been in the woods or spent the night in the woods by yourself, but it's very easy for your imagination to kind of run away with itself, and so all the little boogeymen in the back of your head tend to come to the foreground. So anyway, I was laying in the hammock, and every little sound, I swear, is just amplified. So I spend all night listening to little thuds and clicks and whatever, and it just keeps me up. It's not, I don't get freaked out really, but I can't sleep. I don't know. I looked at my watch last night. The last time it was about 3 a.m. and I must have slept like 2 hours. But I think it's also part of the reason I come out here to do this is I kind of like to confront the things that scare me a little bit. And the unknown is something that scares everyone. So I'm sitting here in the dark by myself in the unknown. And there's not even any animals or anything that can harm you in New Zealand, It's not like they're in Minnesota, but they have wild boars. But that's about it. So I know there's nothing there, but I don't know. I'm going to head back up the trail today, back to the car. I'm going to do some fishing along the way for some trout. I got my little fishing rod with. In this lake itself, there are no trout or anything. I was kind of wanting to find that out, but I didn't see any fish at all jumping this morning, so I'm just assuming there isn't anything. There are some species of native kind of whitebait type fish, but I think they're protected, and they're not really they're too small to catch anyway, and the eels as well. But several hours up the trail, there's a hut. I think next time I might try to make it to that. But I can't really think of anything else to say. It was nice sleeping next to this little stream last night. I enjoyed that. Hey, so yeah, I was on my way driving home, and I decided to stop and do some fishing on the Horadui River here, I believe. And I'm really excited because this is the first brown trout I've ever got in my entire life. So it's a beautiful little fish. I think the limit's 1, but I'm not totally sure. Oh, he's a fighter too. I'll put him down for a second. I got him on a little yellow Tasmanian devil. And yeah, there he is, really, really pretty, as you can see. But yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys. And he's going to be dinner. Oh, he's getting all dirty, so he's not as pretty, but yeah, beautiful fish.